Okay, so it is Sunday, which means it's time for a Stashcast. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Aradia Nawari. I'm your resident witch and creatrix over Aradia's Hand and Danae's Divine, where I create myth, magic, and meaning for your everyday life through art, intuition, and energy work. And on Sundays, I like to do a little thing called Stashcast, except for the last Sunday of the month. And we're getting back into the swing of things with that, just so we're all aware. So, real quick, I am recording this day of. I am then going to turn around and record 2 more. Mostly because I keep missing my deadlines. And this is one of the videos that I want to go up on my channel the day it's supposed to, which means it either needs to be pre-recorded or recorded the day of. And recording the day of is a little dicey because then it means I have to do everything and have everything ready. And frankly, I have so much going on that's really hard for me to do. So, without further ado, Stashcast is something that I started doing to share tools and materials and things like that I use for my artwork, but also just collections of other things I use for my work with my audience, with you, friends. Yes. Usually when people refer to stash, they're talking about materials. A lot of times it's yarn, fabric, beads, buttons, etc. But in my case, I also expanded it to be tools as well. Now, one further thing I did is I've also made some segments, and we are currently trying to wrap up our Bobbin lace segment, which has been going on for over a year. Not because I have that much stuff, but because I keep having to take long breaks. Just life and things happening. So I'm really excited to wrap this up because we're going to talk about other things and I just want to be done with this. And it also means I can put all this away, which is another reason why I'm doing this. Having my stash out means it's out, means it's not put away. But what I have found for me, just personally, professionally, especially with ADHD, if I can't see something, don't ask me where it is. I'm really not sure. It's a lot easier for me to keep track of things if I can see them. And it's a lot easier for me to remember they exist if I can see them, or I can easily see them, versus it's inside of, packed away under, in a box, in a cabinet, whatnot. I may know all of the things that are shaped like this and for this go in this place, but if I can't readily see or access that place, it's gonna be a lot harder for me to engage with it. So, and I know I'm not the only one, so here we are. So, looking at my notes. Nope, that's not the right one. That's not the right one. Okay. So, did I just close the one that I needed? I did. That's exciting. That's exciting. Oh my gosh, where is it? It's the 19th. Okay. So, here's the funny thing about this. This is what I have stashed. Some DMC Coton Perlé 12. Now, if you recall from our last one, which I need to write a note. If you recall from our last one, I had said that for years I had assumed that the black, the white, and the red were all the same size. And then I was just randomly bothering with it, and I realized that the red was actually a different size. It was a size 8. And so I was like, oh, well, according to the rules of stash, you share all the thread, maybe share all of the materials, but when you go into the deep dive, you don't group together the sizes, friend. And I'm like, yeah, I don't. And I'm like, so that's a mess. And so the funny thing is I thought it was going to be 1, 2, 3, and it ended up being 4. So the red was a size 8. These are size 12, which means they're a little thinner. 8 to 12 is not that giant a jump, which is why I confused them for some time. So the reality is, and with all of these, except for our next in the series, I'm like reasonably sure where I got that. This, not so much. So AC Moore, Michaels. Those are the options of where I probably got it from. At this point in time, AC Moore is closed and does not exist anymore over here. So Michaels. Now, I can say, because I recently was in a Michaels and looking at their thread selection, that they do have the 12 and the 8. I think of all of the colors, actually. The black, white, and red. So that's good news. But I've also got a link here for you as well. So, generally speaking, and this I've been saying this with each one, this thread can be used for anything that you want it to be. I got it for bobbin lace, but it would be fine for tatting. I think, looking at the twist, that I would really prefer it for bobbin lace over tatting, but also just this could be used for cross stitch, needlepoint, like whatever, what have you, like whatever size this is appropriate for is fine. I mean, if you wanted to crochet or knit with it, you could too. If you wanted to stitch or darn with it, I'm sure you could too. But I bought it with the intention of using it for bobbin lace. Now, because I haven't used it yet, I don't actually know if how it's going to work out. So that's another thing which actually just occurred to me, is sometimes you may intend something to be for a specific reason, and then in practice you realize, oh, this isn't really well suited to it. So it is to be determined whether this will work or not. I think I've used not necessarily this thread, but a similar size for some of my samples. All of the samples that I have, that I've shared, for the most part, most of them were made with threads that I cannot identify. They were provided with a class that I took to learn this. And so they're scrap stash from the teacher who may or may not have kept labels, may or may not have had any kind of organization. And so because of that, it's really hard to say, oh, this was this, which sucks if you got a really cool color. And I did get some fun colors. So there's that. Now, like I said, so far I haven't used it for anything. So I don't know what exactly I would use it for. It would just be larger than the stuff that I have made. That's pretty much what it would come down to. So what I will say is that I do have something I'm going to discuss, not next, but the one after that. That is the reason that I bought it. And hint, it's very tiny. And so I will probably use it to make that. And there was a consideration also for me to make a few things as samples. To just say, okay, this is what this looks like worked up in this. And then basically swatches, I guess, would be a thing to do, because saying, okay, this is this size and this is this size, what does that mean? What does it look like? Like, how big of a size difference does it actually make, right? And then there's a lot of factors that go into that too. So there's that. So that is pretty much it. My question for you today is, do you have any of this pearl cotton, or cotton pearl? It's French. You can scroll below and you will see like the you'll see the name of it and you'll understand what I mean. But have you used this before? Have you, I'm looking at my notes. What did you like about it? What did you not like about it? What did you make with it? I would love to hear from you. You can scroll into the post below. You can scroll below, leave a comment. If you would like to see clear pictures of this, you can also scroll into the post below and you'll see that. I've also got a general link to just the brand itself. You'll be able to buy it. I don't know how many colors it has. Some of these things have many colors, some of them don't. I think this has at least 2. And I don't know why they don't offer like more colors. Like if you look at embroidery floss, there are like a billion colors, friends. So many colors. But I don't know. So Looking for my notes. That's pretty much it for these. Also linked below my websites where you may see things made with these things, as well as my social media, such that it is. And because you stayed to the end of this video, what are we doing tomorrow? And I have my planner right next to me. It's just lovely. So tomorrow we're going to do Monday motivation. We're going to pop in like plans for the week, see what we're doing, see what we're going to work on. We are in the last third of April at this point, and time is ticking away. And I'm going to go ahead and say to y'all ahead of time, I am about to be very, very busy. So one of the things that I'm probably going to be doing is, particularly with the hauls on Tuesdays and with these, I'm going to probably try and record as many of them ahead of time as I can. So if my scenery doesn't change, if my hair looks the same, that's why. Just because school is starting in about a month, and I have a bunch of other things I have to do in the meantime, and that is going to take up pretty much all my brain space. And then I'm going to be living, working full-time, school full-time, and internship basically part-time is what the hours come out to, while I am doing everything and trying to hold on to my sanity. So that's going to be fun. It's going to be so fun, but it's going to be worth it because I'm going to be done sooner. And I like that. I love that for myself. So, and I have mentioned it here and there and everywhere, but I haven't gone into like a whole lot of detail, what I'm doing, what I'm not doing, because it's not wholly relevant to the work that I do here with y'all. It does inform some of the things I do. It will, as you get more education, as you expand, what you do and your information sources, of course, your views will adjust to fit those things. And you can learn more and share more and do more. So it's going to start to bleed into my work probably. Which is just something that happens, right? I'm trying to think of where that pink is for next time. I feel like I had that thread and I said, I found the pink, let me just pop it over here and I'll remember. And I think when I said to myself, when I decided to pop it, wherever I decided to pop it, I was like, you're not going to remember this. And I think that past me was right, because I don't. And that's really exciting for me. And I love this. So, woo! Anyway, thank you for being here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out through all these ups and downs over the years and trying to get stuff done and trying to show up.